How Doth the Little Crocodile by Lewis Carroll. How doth the little crocodile improve his shining tail, and pour the waters of the Nile on every golden scale? How cheerfully he seems to grin, how neatly he spreads his claws, and welcomes little fishes in with gently smiling jaws. 'Tis the voice of the lobster by Lewis Carroll. 'Tis the voice of the lobster, I heard him declare. You've baked me to brown, I must sugar my hair. As a duck with its eyelids, so he with his nose trims his belt and his buttons and turns out his toes. When the sand's all dry, he's as gay as a lark, and will talk in contemptuous tones of the shark. But when the tide rises and sharks are around, his voice is a timid and tremendous sound. I passed by his garden and marked with one eye how the owl and the panther were sharing a pie. The panther took pie crust and gravy and meat, whilst the owl had a delicious share of the treat. When the pie was all finished, the owl, as a boon, was kindly permitted to pocket the spoon, while panther received knife and fork with a growl, and concluded the banquet by eating the owl. The Lobster Quadrille by Lewis Carroll. Will you walk a little faster? Said a whiting to a snail. There's a porpoise close behind us, and he's treading on my tail. See how eagerly the lobsters and the turtles all advance. They're waiting on the shingle. Will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you? Will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you? Won't you join the dance? You can really have no notion how delightful it would be when they take us up and throw us, the lobsters, out to sea. But the snail replied, too far, and gave a look askance. Said he thanked the whiteling kindly, but he would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not, would not join the dance. Would not, could not, would not, could not join the dance. What matters is how far we go, his scaly friend replied. There is another shore, you know, upon the other side. Further off from England, nearer it is to France. Then turn not pale, beloved snail, but come and join the dance. Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, will you join the dance? Will you, won't you, will you, won't you, won't you join the dance? Turtle Soup by Lewis Carroll. Beautiful soup, so rich and green, waiting in a hot tureen. Who for such dainties would not stoop? Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening, beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Who cares for fish, game, or any other dish? Who will not give all else for two? Pennyworth of beautiful soup. Pennyworth of beautiful soup. Beautiful soup, beautiful soup. Soup of the evening. Beautiful, beautiful soup. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat by Lewis Carroll. Twinkle, twinkle, little bat, how I wonder what you're at. Up above the world you fly, like a tea tray in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little twinkle, you don't twink the souling tinkle. Twinkle, 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 little bee. Twinkle, twinkle, I'm so glad it isn't me. Twinkle, twinkle, little gnat, how I wonder what you're at. You are very small indeed. You can banish up my sleeve, up my sleeve, up my sleeve. You can banish up my sleeve. You are old, Father William by Lewis Carroll. You are old, Father William, the young man said, and your hair has become very white, and yet you incessantly stand on your head. Do you think at your age it is right? In my youth, Father William replied to his son, I feared in my injured up brain, but now I am perfectly sure I have none. Why, I do it again and again. You are old, said the youth, as I mentioned before, and have grown most uncommonly fat. Yet you turned a black somersault in at the door. Pray, what the reasons for that? In my youth, said the sage, as he shook his grey locks, I kept all my limbs very supple. By the use of this ointment, 1 shilling the box. Allow me to sell you a couple. You are old, said the youth, and your jaws are too weak for anything tougher than suet. Yet you fringed a goose with the bones in the beak. Pray, how did you manage to do it? In my youth, said his father, I took to the law and argued the case with my wife, and the muscular strength that which gave to my jaw has lasted the rest of my life. You are old, said the youth. One could hardly suppose that your eye was as steady as ever, that you balanced the eel on the end of your nose. What made you so awfully clever? I have answered 2 questions, and that is enough, said his father. Don't you give yourself airs. Do you think I can listen all day to such stuff? Be off. I'll kick you down the stairs. Jabberwocky by Lewis Carroll. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the moonraths outgrabe. Beware the Jabberwock, my son, the jaws that bite, the claws that catch. Beware the Jab bird and shun, the frumptuous bandersnatch. He took his vorpal sword in hand, long time the maxened foe he sought. So he risked by the tumtum tree, and stood a while and thought. And as in offish thought he stood, the Jabberwock with eyes aflame came whiffling through the tulgey wood, and burbled as it came. 1, 2, 1, 2, and through, the vorpal bread went snick-a-snack. He left it dead, and with its head he went galumphing back. And hast thou slain the Jabberwock? Oh, come to my arms, my beamish boy. Oh, fraptious day, callooh, callay, he jautled in his joy. 'Twas brillig, and the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. All mimsy were the borogoves, and the moonraths outgrabe.